today's purpose, and I want to make sure that I preface this because I didn't necessarily check that any of these were whitelisted for students. So I'm speaking strictly from a teacher efficiency standpoint. These are some of the extensions that myself and my colleagues use on a regular basis, like to try and make our lives easier. To have this conversation, I am going to briefly kind of go through the anatomy of Chrome and its toolbar, just so, because we never know what entry point everyone's kind of walking in here with. And so that's kind of the plan for today. So for those of you that don't know, I'm Nichole Carter, part of the digital curriculum crew. My background's at secondary, but K-12 since I've been at the district level. So today is mostly talking about kind of the providing feedback response, but then also teaching and teacher efficiency. When we talk about just best practices and how to make your lives easier. I am going to be doing a session later today on YouTube Live, which we finally got the go ahead from legal on being able to do that and skip all of the steps that have been weighing you guys down for your time. So I feel like a lot of my sessions today are all on like teacher efficiency. So, okay. So I am going to be going through quite a few of these apps. I will give you time at the end to kind of explore the web store, but if you want to open up another tab and follow along with me, the first step will be to open up your Chrome browser and click on that apps launcher in the top left-hand corner. Looks like a waffle. And that will then get you into the web store. It looks like a little bag, and I can kind of show you in a little bit. But in terms of kind of going through the anatomy of the Chrome bar, we've got the Omnibox, which I talk about quite a bit. They call it the Omnibox because it's like omniscient. It does all of the things. So you no longer have to go to google.com. You can just type all of your things in that Omnibox, whether that's Google start a timer for me, Google define this, right? You just say define and then this word, or you can have it do equations for you. You can have it do image searches. There's all sorts of stuff it does. You no longer have to go to google.com. Next to the Omnibox is your extensions. Now, I use extensions all the time, hence why I'm doing today's session. And I think that it's one of the main reasons why when we started having conversations 6-7 years ago about why to not use Firefox anymore, one of them was, well, your students will have Chromebooks and Chrome is what they function on, so it's best for your direct instruction. But the other part is this piece with the extensions. It just makes your life easier. And there's so many out there. And I often joke because I don't know if you know Chris Giles, our Canvas person. We actually met, he used to live in Arizona, and we would meet at conferences all the time. And the first time we ever met, we were sitting next to each other in a session and he leaned over and said, "What are your favorite extensions?" Like, no joke. So this is one thing that we keep talking to each other about. What extensions are you using right now? Because new ones come out all the time. Some stop working. And it's always good to just figure out what's out there and how to, use them as a teacher. So there are some that are preloaded, by the way. IT does push out certain ones ahead of time. So like, for instance, just this CDL time, we've got read and write back. If you didn't know that, we've got read and write back for all students. So for example, that was just pushed out to all student Chromebooks. So that's now an extension on their Chromebooks. We also have like a filter shield system that IT has pushed out. So you might already have a few extensions up there. I have a lot, like I said, because I'm installing and uninstalling all the time. Below the Omnibox, we also have a bookmark, your bookmark bar. So I actually will edit my bookmark bar so I can fit as many of my bookmarks right there as I can possibly. Most of the time I get like a little icon, which then tells me what it is. So I don't need all of the text that goes with it. So I have a lot of bookmarks there underneath my Omnibox. And then to talk a little bit about the extensions and why we're focusing a full half hour on it is just simply that they are these things that perform an action in a tab. They do one thing, usually one thing really well, and they do it within the tab that you're in on Chrome. And they are different from a bookmark. It's not going to, usually it doesn't take you to a website or anything. It does something specific for you. And as I kind of talk about some of these extensions, that will become more clear. So the first area I wanted to talk about was just tab management. I don't know about you, but I am constantly a person that has 50 tabs open. It's a part of my, like, I kind of think of it as like my to-do list, right? Like as soon as I finish a task, I close that tab out, and then I start cleaning up my tabs as I go, as I finish things. But as you know, sometimes your computer crashes and you lose those tabs, or there's things that we can do to like make our lives easier. So one of my favorite extension is Tab Cloud. And basically my brain functions in a way that I like to see all of those tabs lined up next to each other. And so, for instance, if I were to go into, I always use this example. If I were to go and create a lesson for Thursday, and I know I need this Newsella article, I need Canvas up, I need this video on YouTube, I'll open up all of those tabs. And then with Tab Cloud, I will just go and save those 3 tabs together as like Thursday's lesson. And then I can close them out and open them again once Thursday comes. Now, very similar to that, you have something called One Tab. Now, I have this installed, but it's not my go-to. And the reason that is because what it does is it funnels all of your tabs into one tab. So instead of having them lined up on your window, it puts them in one tab in a like a linear list on the page itself. And I hate that. My brain doesn't function that way. So they do basically the same thing, but in a slightly different way. And then a lot of my coworkers love Workonia. Has anyone heard of Workonia before? So what Workonia does is it actually creates, like they call it desktop surfaces, or I can open up a few of these and kind of show you. But they, all 3 of those, so Tab Cloud, One Tab, and Workonia are all in the business of trying to help you with your tab management. So just to go back, I wasn't talking my way through this. So I opened up a new tab and I clicked on apps, the apps show apps or apps launcher. And then I'm going to click on the web store. Mine looks like a shopping bag. And then I'm just going to search for these things. So Tab Cloud, and by the way, they're all linked in here too. So in the slide deck, every single one of these is linked to what I'm talking about. So you don't necessarily have to search either. I'm wondering if Tab Cloud will even show up for me. Okay, here's what we might do. I'm going to go into the, do I not have it on here either? Oh, guys, I talk about Tab Cloud and then I don't even have it linked on here for you. It might not be available anymore. Let's see here. I'm going to open up one tab just so that it's running. But then the other thing I've noticed, if I right click on any of my extensions, I can usually then click on the name and it will take me to the web store. There we go. Okay, so let me just fix my missing link in the slide deck for you. Okay, so the process once you get to the web store is, instead of remove from Chrome, it'll say add to Chrome. So just go ahead and click that and add it in. So let's just say that these are the websites that I need for my example Thursday lesson. So all I would do is just click on the Tab Cloud extension and then find, this is the window that's open for me right now. And I would just say, you know, something like Thursday lesson. And then I just hit the little save button. So you'll see that I have different, like, it's basically just a bookmark folder system, which technically you can do this also through Chrome. It's just nice that it's right here next to the Omnibox and I don't have to go up into the bookmarks tab folder in Chrome. So I don't even have One Tab listed as one of my tab. Let's see here. Okay, so One Tab looks like a funnel. So just to remind you again, what it will do when you launch it is it will take all of your tabs here and condense it into a One Tab where all of your things are listed. Now, the one reason I might like One Tab is because you could curate like a group of websites and then you can share it out. It gives you like a unique URL or a QR code. So you could take that grouping, that curated list of articles or something, and then pop that into Canvas or something and share it to your students. or share it in an email to colleagues or something. So that's one reason why I might use one tab instead of Tab Cloud. Now, the other extensions that I have listed, Tab Glue and Tab Scissors, those are ones right here. And those are just simply, like I said, when I have 50 tabs going, then I can select a tab. And now you could just drag these out of your window and manage it that way. But the Tab Cloud and Tab Scissors just allows me to cut everything from that tab over and cut it out of the window. And then the Tab Glue glues them back together. So it's just a way for you to manage bringing all of your tabs into one space. Again, you just have to play with these things. Like I said, like they all do one thing specifically. And if it's not efficient or helpful for you, then don't use it. Now, this great suspender, this one's interesting, and I have restarted every tab or closed out every tab, so I don't have any that are hitting the great suspender timepiece. But basically what the great suspender does is it allows for tabs that are open that are no longer, that I haven't accessed in a really long time. This is what the screen will do. So it will put them to sleep. So basically what that means is even though I have the tab open, I might reference it later. I haven't referenced it in a while. So then it stops drawing from my bandwidth. It won't like mess with my internet and pull more information. It just puts it to sleep. And then all I have to do to refresh it is to just click the tab and it opens back up. So this is one that I have installed and it's just running in the background, and it just, I don't even notice it. It just closes stuff down so that it helps with my internet efficiency. So if you ever have students telling you when you're live on Zoom that your sound or audio is going in and out, or you are just being conscientious of your bandwidth so that you do have a good experience when you're live Zooming, this might be a really good one to install. And you really don't have to do anything other than add it to your Chrome and make sure that it's working. And then you'll start to notice that it's working in the background. To keep going, these are some of my absolute favorites, especially when it comes to thinking about lesson design. I probably use Color Pick Eyedropper more than any other extension. And the main reason that I use Color Pick Eyedropper is because I might be adding something to a slide deck or something and I need to know what color it is. So I'm just opening up the edit version in my slides, and I need to pay attention to my time because I know I don't have very much time. But Color Pick Eyedropper, I just grab this thing and then I drag it over a color. And what you're seeing on the screen is that it identifies that color and will give me the hex code. So I just click with my mouse, and then I copy and paste this code here. And then if I'm in like a slide deck and I want to add, you know, I don't know, some color somewhere, maybe I want to add a button, but I want it to be in a specific color. I have that hex code color and I paste it into the custom color options. And now I have that color that I just picked up from here. So it's infinitely good to have something like this to just be able to identify what colors you have. Additionally, I'll kind of keep in the same vein talking about like the Bitmoji extension. So everybody's loving the Bitmojis right now, which I was poo-pooing for a really long time until my 7th grade daughter was like, ooh, those are cool. And she got really excited about it. So I have to preface though with the Bitmoji extension, you do have to go onto a mobile device first and download the Bitmoji app and create an account and design your avatar. Once you've done that, then you go to the extension and you sign in and you can then grab your Bitmojis. But basically all you have to do once you install this extension, you can search through different things and then you just right click and copy the image and go into your Google Doc, your Google Slide, your Canvas, whatever, and you paste your Bitmoji. So, and then the same thing with this, the emoji keyboard, you also have access to that. And for this one, all you have to do is touch it and it copies it. And then you can go in and paste it into a text box. So that would work on anything, anywhere you're typing in some text. So that's Bitmoji and the emoji keyboard and the Color Pick Eyedropper. Giphy obviously is one, and I think, you know, one of the things I'm going to be doing later today is talking about virtual lesson design. And I think that the reason that these are things that I use all the time, the emoji keyboard is great when you're designing in Canvas for adding little emojis to your naming conventions on lessons and in modules. Your Bitmojis, add those in to any of your lesson designs and instructions on Canvas just to give it a little oomph. And then the Giphies are the same way. So sometimes when your screen is smaller, you don't see all of your, and I might not have, Giphy is one I just installed, so I don't have it pinned. So I'm going to pin that one so I have access to it and turn it on. So Giphy is just going to allow you to search for GIFs. And it is looking like I might be able to drag and drop. Please tell me I can drag and drop. Wonderful. How great is that, friends? So same deal. If you're in Canvas designing a lesson, you're open in Slides or Google Docs. Such an easy thing for us to add a little fun, engaging piece for students. Now, this next one is fully for anything that I'm doing where I'm providing feedback or I'm filling out forms. And hopefully this one's kind of a game changer for you. So this is called permanent clipboard. So what this is you just basically create instances of things that you are constantly copying and pasting or constantly repeating yourself. So for example, I have all of my teammates' emails on here so that I don't have to type them out. Our emails are so long. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? So I just grab these just like this, and it copies and pastes, or it just copies to my clipboard so that I can paste it in. And so this could be anything from emails. It could be, I know Danette's with us and she's a humanities teacher. So I think of using permanent clipboard as a way to provide feedback. You know, some people might have a Google Doc, but you're having to go back and forth between tabs to grab, you know, Jose, you need to work on your thesis in your intro paragraph. That was one sentence that I would use all the time as I was grading. Well, that instead of having it on a Google Doc, I would just make that as an entry on my permanent clipboard. So all I have to do is stay within that, copy, paste, put it in my comments section in SpeedGrader. Does that make sense? So to me, this one is a game changer. And so, and you can put anything in here as long as you want. You can even, they even have, you can make like folders. So you could have like a folder for persuasive essay comments or argumentative essay comments. You know what I'm saying? You could have a folder for, you know, unit 1 comments or whatever. And then you click in and it has all of your stuff. So you really could go to town in this extension. And it's one that I think would be really helpful. And then again, to reiterate with the read and write options, I think some of my favorite things with this read and write extension is that it does give you a speech to text. It will start to read your comments to you. So I don't know if I want to go to, but if I just click in.
Extensions graphic lesson design.
So great for students. It does give you the option to go ahead and highlight things. I do like the dictionary definition pieces as well. It's graying things out for me right now, and that just could be simply because I'm doing Zoom right now. But I think the speech to text, the prediction, the dictionary pieces, and this button automatically opens up the speech to text. So this reads text to speech, and then this opens up the speech to text, which in Slides, there is a tool for speech to text. It just only gives you the text type in the speaker's notes. So if a kid needed to use that, they would just copy and paste somewhere else. But I can't tell you how often I use the speech to text tool, especially when I'm creating huge amounts of curriculum and I need to like condense information. I use speech to text. So if you aren't familiar with that or using that, I mean, I'm a super, super fast typer, but you infinitely can go a lot faster when you use speech to text. So if you haven't been using that, you should start doing that. Okay, so let's just move out of here. Okay. And then finally, as we're getting into kind of talking about some lesson recording features, now we don't have access to Screencastify. The pro version, right? But I still use Screencastify in its like free option for the, like the 5-minute piece or whatever, if I need to grab short little snippets of something, I find that lately I've been making a lot of GIFs, and you can do GIFs with both Screencastify and Chrome Capture. I find that I'm using both of them kind of interchangeably. So that just means, like, for instance, if I'm in Canvas and I want to make sure that my students know how to submit something on Canvas, because it might be the first time that we're doing it differently, I might go in, open up Screencastify and show them how to hit like the submission button or whatever, and then download it as a GIF and pop that into Canvas instead of like a video or something. But you could do a video too. You could do a video. And then this one is also a new one for me, and the page marker one. And basically it just gives you, it's this extension here. So it just gives you the ability to start marking over any tab that you have, which could be helpful if you're in a Zoom and you just need that, but you have the annotation tools. I'm not a huge fan on writing things with my trackpad, just because I'm not very good at it. Like my arrows all come out funky and weird, So, but side note on PageMaker or Marker, a high school student made it, which I think is kind of cool. So, those are some of my immediate thoughts on extensions. And so what I'm going to have you guys do at this time is just go in, I'll stop talking, and have you explore the web store, install some that you think might be helpful. In the chat, if there's more that you think I should be talking about, or if there's one up here on my extension bar that you're like, hey, what does that thing do that you want me to talk about, I can do that. But I think what I'll do is I'll stop the recording here so that I have a nice short recording for whoever might watch this later, and then we'll open it up for Q&A if that sounds okay. Time to explore and Q&A.